On their view, in order to be harmed, you've got to be able to experience harm. Now, right away, that should cause us to kind of scratch our heads. Couldn't I be harmed even if I don't know that I've been harmed? For example, think about this. If you cheat me out of an inheritance that I should be getting, I justly should receive that inheritance, but you cheat me out of it, but I never know of it, you might say, okay, I didn't experience the harm of being cheated out of that inheritance, but was I still wronged? Obviously. Or if you slit my throat while I'm sleeping or under anesthesia, I may not feel harm, but was I harmed? And I think the answer, of course, yes, I was. So this idea that you must be capable of recognizing or experiencing harm in order to be harmed, to be a person, in other words, on their view, I think it can be questioned. We can push back on that, and with good reason. Now, what about this idea that you must value your existence in order to be a person, to have an identity? Suppose I'm an individual, very sad, depressed, and maybe even suicidal. I no longer see any value to my life. In fact, I just want to die. I want to crawl into one of those suicide pods they have over there in the Netherlands and in Belgium, and I just want to be done with it. I do not value my existence at all. Do I still have an identity? Am I still me? I would say, yeah, of course. So I don't understand how this gets tied to personhood and to identity. And I think, too, we can point out that when it comes to harm, what if I were killed immediately? Instant annihilation. Somebody comes up behind me, shoots me in the back of the head. I never feel it. I don't experience any momentary suffering. I just die immediately. I've still been wronged, have I not? So again, I'm not persuaded by this definition at all. This idea that you must experience harm in order to be harmed, I don't think is persuasive at all. I also think the argument proves way more than maybe even they want it to prove. Here's what we're learning in the latest psychological research, and it's interesting who pointed this out. Bertha Alvarez, who is a pro-abortion philosopher who argues in favor of abortion, but took issue with Giubilini and Minerva, points out in her piece in response to their article that 2-year-olds, perhaps even 3-year-olds now, we know, don't value their existence over time, don't have a sense of individualistic identity as their lives being something they want to continue over time, and they may not have a clear concept of existing separate from their parents. That those things really may not kick in until age 3, the latest research is saying, which means this argument that they're putting forward would do way more than just justify killing newborns and fetuses. It moves us into the example of harming toddlers and older children. This is very disturbing. And as a result, I think we're within our rights to reject this view, but you need to be aware of it. Remember, their primary claim is there's no you present until you can experience the things they mention. In fact, they respond to an objection in the course of an interview they did where they were asked, what if they had been killed before they had these traits? And it was interesting and curious to see their answer. They said, well, we would not have been harmed because there was no we there back then. Yeah, there was a physical body that is genetically human, but there's no identity. There's no you there at that point. So again, they're making an identity argument here. And keep in mind, on their view, only actual persons have a right to life, not mere potential ones. Now, you might also ask, well, where does this lead us? Wouldn't this also justify killing a healthy toddler that was not yet fully in grip of their own identity over time and valuing their existence? What if we had a 2.5-year-old who showed no apparent valuing of his own existence? What would be wrong on their view of killing this kid for the purpose of using his body parts to treat illness in others? I mean, if only actual persons have a right to life and not merely potential ones, why not use this child for organ farming? Why not use him for live medical experiments to benefit others? In fact, I'm really thinking on their view, you would be obliged to, because it's only actual persons who have a right to life. Potential ones don't have any claim, and therefore they should be used to serve the needs of actual persons. There's a lot of stuff that flows from these arguments where people try to make human value contingent on traits that none of us share equally and that come and go throughout the course of our lifetime.